Hey there, happy Wednesday. As I'm sure I've talked about in other videos before, I'm not super into talking about gear or, nerding out over camera specs. Like, that's just not me. That's not really what I'm interested in. But recently, I have been using one piece of gear that's made me quite excited and I think has really made my work a lot better. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the screw-on diopter. If you don't know what a diopter is, it's a piece of glass that you either screw onto the front of your lens or drop into your matte box that reduces your minimum focusing distance. So you're able to get really up close and personal with whatever you're shooting. Basically, it makes any lens a macro lens. Now, I've been using these bad boys on pretty much everything that I've been doing recently, and the reason for that is there's a couple things, but one, it just gives you this really unique perspective that I think helps to add to your shot variety, rather than just having, a standard extreme close-up with whatever lens that you're using. It's getting you really, really in and seeing the product or person in a different way than you would normally be able to see them in, and kind of bring the audience into the piece in a way that they're not normally seeing. And another reason why I've been using these ones specifically are because I'm getting that look of a, more expensive drop-in diopter, or a probe lens, or a just expensive cinema macro lens for, the low cost of $20, which, is much more in my budget range than any of those other things. So, it gives your project almost this immediate bump in quality and production value, because it seems like you're using one of those more expensive tools that you would see used on bigger commercials and such, but, it's $20, which I think most people can afford. So I think that's pretty cool. To kind of give you a good example of what, the power of a diopter is, I'm going to show you a couple shots here with a diopter and without the diopter. So as you can see here with the diopter, kind of like I was saying, it really brings you into the shot as, like you're a part of it. Like you really feel that kind of three-dimensional aspect to it. Whereas, without the diopter, it kind of just, it feels more flat. Like it doesn't feel like it's a nice looking shot, but it doesn't feel as encapsulating as the diopter versions. With these diopters specifically as well, the Amazon ones, you get these kind of funky lens characteristics to it as well, with the kind of distortion and flaring. So I think that's pretty cool as well. That's honestly, I think, just a product of them being cheaply made, but I think it adds, something a little bit cool to it. So I like that personally. And honestly, I feel like the biggest difference between with the diopter and without the diopter is it gives a little bit of magic to these mundane things. Like a golf ball or a shower head or a fishing reel is not that interesting in and of itself, and just kind of even getting up close to it, like, it's not that interesting. But then when you put the diopter on and you mess around with your focal length and find one that looks interesting with that on there, you don't see those objects in normal life in this way, and so it gives you this interesting perspective on something that otherwise would be just a very mundane object. And when you're doing low-budget filmmaking, you work with a lot of mundane. So being able to sprinkle a little bit of magic in there is something that I value a lot, and I think that these diopters do a great job of being able to kind of help me do. If you're interested in picking up a set of these for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description down below to where I got them from, which I think was Amazon. This company did not pay me to say any of this, by the way. This is just something that I legitimately think is super cool, and I think could potentially help you make some cool things. So, try this out for yourself and try to make some magic out of the mundane. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for today. I know it's a super short one, but hopefully we'll be back next week with a little bit of a longer video. But, I just thought this was cool and wanted to show it with you. So hopefully this was helpful to you and you got something from this. If not, sorry, I tried. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, look at that bad boy. Yes, this is exactly what I was picturing. Cool.